Fashions fade, style is eternal. Clothes have been part of human life ever since the Nomad era. Men's fashion, in particular, has always been valued and praised, but it's also changed over the long course of history, going from puffy coats to tightly buttoned suits, from breeches to slacks, from those tap-dancing looking shoes to Oxfords. The history of men's fashion is a roller coaster of change, especially in the Regency era, Victorian era, and the post-war era. The Regency era takes place in the late 1700s and mid-1800s in England, specifically 1795 and 1837. This era was famous for its outstanding architectural and artistic achievements. The upper class flourished as King George IV became the new king when his father died. New fashion was created through the flourishment of fine arts. Men were typically found wearing a cravat as a scarf and shirt, tailcoat as a jacket, pantaloons as pants, tassel adhesions as boots, gloves, top hat, and a waistcoat. The Victorian era picks up right where the Regency era leaves off. This era takes place in 1837 all the way up to 1901. George IV dies and Queen Victoria takes his spot on the throne to rule the British Empire. This era is famous for the tremendous breakaway mentality towards the Regency era. People began to move towards the ideas of mysticism and romanticism, all with regards to religion. There was a slight change in fashion due to international affairs that had inflicting culture amongst the British Empire. Men had a couple choices on what to wear regarding the upper body. They were either typically found wearing a frock coat that goes down to the calves, or they were found wearing a typical vest. And these vests could either be double or single-breasted. Collars on the jackets were either shawl, which were more modernly introduced and rather uncommon, or they were notched, which are seen in both preceding eras as well as in today's society. Trousers were worn on everyday pants, and breeches were worn on formal occasions or for horseback riding. The post-war era skips ahead from 1900s up until 1950s, right after the end of World War II, hence the name post-war. We are still kinda considered to be in this era today. The post-war era slid away from formal dress and more into the neon 80s sports clothing that many of your parents would be familiar with. However, even though the focus was primarily on casual dress, men's fashion attire did flourish and was usually a two-button suit. In today's society, there is a lot of versatility and acceptance on men's fashion, but the most accepted by society is the modern fit suit, which contours to the body and is really tightly fitted. Many fashions have evolved over time, but the classy style of men's dress will forever be eternal, never dying, never going away.